Hello everyone, it's me, Xeno, I'm back, still in the gentry, yes, and I'm here to do an analysis video for the new, still fresh, because it came out like not even an hour ago, Bloodlines 2 gameplay reveal. Yeah, I will be analyzing the gameplay that they shown and talking about the things they talked in the Q&A that was after the gameplay. So yeah, how I will do it. The video is really long, over half an hour, so I won't be going all the way for the first time the whole video without talking. I will be talking, well, in the first throw, so to say. So yeah, we'll be watching it. I will be stopping at the interesting moments that I will have something to talk about. So that's that. And yeah, okay. Let's get started, shall we? Let's go. Of course, links in the description if you want to watch it.
Hello everyone, we're very excited to show you gameplay of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 today. I'm Josh, the community manager for the Chinese room.
Hi, I'm Alex, I'm Project Creative Director on Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Bloodlines 2 is an first-person action RPG where you get to embody an elder vampire called Fire. Could you tell us what clan we're going to be playing?
Once again, like I said in the previous video about Bloodlines, we will be able to customize the character. They will be referring to Fire as she in this video because they're using a female model, a female version of Fire. There will be a male version, and like we can see here, this one here is different than the one that will be shown in the gameplay. So yeah, customization is there. Chill, dudes, and other people.
Yes, today.
Yeah, so today we're going to be playing as Bruja.
Bruja. It still hurts, but it is what it is. It's still great. Not the clan, the gameplay, but yeah. Maybe Tremere will be next, since they were announced as the second clan.
And they have supernatural speed and strength, but they're also known to sometimes lose their temper.
Okay, so potence, celerity, and their bane. So yeah, that's that. They didn't mention presence here. Don't know why. Maybe well this gameplay is full of action. So maybe at this particular moment in this part we don't have presence yet, or the build haven't unlocked it. Who knows?
So when we go through the dialogue trees, we'll be picking the more aggressive and intimidating options.
You don't have to pick them, they will, to feel the Bruja spirit. So there is dialogue, there is role-playing, options are here. I just feel obligated to clarify it for some people. You know who you are.
Great. And could you tell us the context for the mission that we're about to see?
Yes, so it's one of the early missions where Fire is now established in Seattle. She's made inroads with the court and she's investigating the...
Once again, she, because it's a female model here, female character. You can change it. At character creation, you can be male. Alright? Come on, space. Work.
Mark on her hand, which has been holding back her powers. And she's got a tip-off that a vampire called Willem, a Nosferatu, might have the answers. So we're going to show you from where she's tracked him down to his warehouse and is about to confront him.
Great. Without further ado, let's take a look.
Let's indeed find Willem. Love the lighting. It's great. Is it they? Well, now that I think of... Nah, it can't be. Maybe those are just some lamps outside. Otherwise we'll be dead, so... so yeah. Mannequins.
I do not like this.
The accent is very interesting on Fire. Maybe we'll be able to pick accents too. That would be awesome.
All those marked freaks were waiting outside.
Fabian, so the thin blood supposedly that it's in our head, stuck in our head for some unknown reason, diablerie. His voice is really deep. I imagined him to be like a younger dude, but here he has a really deep voice, a little like blurry, if that's the right thing to say about the voice. So he's talking about to us from our head, so it is like...
And yet none appear to have entered.
Yeah. Right.
Why track Willem to this place and then
Graphics are
refrain
cool.
from attack?
I love them. Much better than in the original Hardsuits Labs version, in my opinion at least. Okay. Please come back. Okay. Okay. So we have here a menu, and what do we have in the menu? No, well, of course, codex, so things, characters, key items. So like in every RPG to keep track of things. Map, outfits, okay. Ability tree, cool. So a character sheet. And settings. Settings are important. And of course we found a newspaper here. If you want, you can read it. Lore. As to the climate, the tension of this warehouse.
How does anyone find anything in a mess like this?
You would be surprised at what
Perhaps
happens
to
at the
him this is
chantry.
an orderly chaos. Nosferatu trade in secrets.
Yeah.
This is merely another way to hide them.
This location, this warehouse here, was shown on the sneak peeks, on the screenshots in articles on the Bloodlines 2 website, so that's cool. And here we see Fire using like a sixth sense. It is later said in the video that it's Auspex. But how Bruja have Auspex? Well, how Ventru in Swansong, Galeb, how he had Auspex? Well, he was an elder, so he knew it. And, well, in the original Hardsuit Labs version, there was also something like this, like an instinct, like it's this sixth sense, so that's that. And we were thin blood, without any major disciplines, and for sure no Auspex. But here, well, it helps. It's like the thing from The Witcher. It helps navigate, to see things that others cannot see. It's cool. The ambience, the background, more documents, okay. This place really has its character.
I recognize this song from before I slept.
The mannequins.
Yeah, it's old school for sure.
We may be nearing the end of our search.
If you say so.
That must be him.
Before I could even finish the song. How cruel.
Am I interrupting?
At that moment, he knew. So, as we can see, Fire, a female Fire, we have here, whatever,
The Nomad.
the Nomad. Cool nickname,
Willem, I take it.
of course. So, yeah, That's female fire, a version that they already shown in the Banu Hakim reveal trailer. But
You
here
had some
we are
interesting
Bruja.
guests outside. Expecting trouble?
That depends. Why are you here?
Tolly tells me you keep the court secret.
Tolly, the bald Nosferatu known as Samuel, from the previous iteration of Bloodlines 2. He's still here. Where's Elif though?
And its histories. Earlier tonight, another kindred by the name of Isabella used this mark to sap my power. Do you know anything about it?
No. All I had to do was keep my head down for just a few more nights.
He's hiding something.
Alright, so let's see here. Show concern for his well-being. We have 3 options, not much, but well. Fine for me. Under conclusion, from his behavior, remind him who you are, and that's what we will do here.
Tell me, Willem, what rumors have you heard about
Yeah,
me?
we heard that dialogue already.
That you were there in Cairo. They called you the Slayer.
Slayer,
I
the
have been
Nomad.
many things to many people. And what will I be to you, Willem? And to this lonely, forgotten warehouse?
You're exactly what he said you'd be. I guess that makes it easier.
Makes what easier?
What happens next? Now I have to do what he told me.
Okay. So now we're entering the actual gameplay, so to say. So what he did, he screamed at us, at fire. Later it will be revealed that it's some sort of power given to him by a Malkavian. So a dementation, perhaps? It looks to me more like an advanced level of chemistry, the Ravnos power. Well, you will see why I think that in a minute, but let's see what we have here on the screen. So up, we have the visibility, the thingy, showing us if we are visible or not. And on the right, we have our discipline abilities. So it's not like in the first Bloodlines, where we have one power for every level. Here, I presume there will be multiple powers to choose from on every level. Like we can level potence, let's say, level 1 to 3, and we maybe will have to option to choose between, let's say, prowess, soaring leap, or whatever they will call it, these abilities. And so I assume that will be it.
What the hell just happened?
Good question. And of course, you can see it because my camera is blocking it. But here we have the health bar. So, yeah. Trust me, right? Go watch the video and then...
Do what he told me? Willem knows something.
Oh, yeah, he does.
We have to find him.
Okay, so we're going through the same...
He made the mark bleed. He knows how to use it against me.
Hives can't just teleport people. That's not normal.
They cannot. Gameplay, alright. So the, again, sixth sense, the sharpened senses. And here we can see ghouls. Perhaps some people. Their hearts are lit, so perhaps they are human, mortal. Their hearts beat. We can see them feed. Okay, so a takedown. Here. That's an illusion, obviously. So yeah. Chemistry. Malkavians can't really do things like that. Or can they? Maybe the Malkavian knew chemistry. Or something. Maybe that's something else entirely.
What the...
An illusion.
An illusion.
Yeah. Like I said. We can see also see there for a second the experience meter. Ghoul. So they are ghouls. Illusions of ghouls. We can see that Fire's hands are lighting up. It also will be later explained that it's a passive ability of Bruja, that the meter with their clan symbol on the right next to the disciplines will be filled up when we fight, and the passive ability will activate. And for Bruja it will be doing more damage. So that's why their hands are glowing. They're charging their attack to do. Alright. This right here, levitation, gliding, Bruja can do that. So perhaps we will have access to some Finnblood disciplines because, you know, Fabian is inside. Or maybe it will be something else. Also, another thing here. This. Telekinesis. No vampires can do that. Well, except, of course, Tremere with some ritual. But we are not Tremere here. And, of course, Finnbloods have the Far Reach, if I remember correctly, the name of this ability, this Finnblood Alchemy thing. I doubt it will be Finnblood Alchemy because, well, we are, of course, a normal vampire in a way, but maybe it will a mix of the previous iteration of the game where Finnbloods had like unique disciplines, the Hieropteran, the Nebulation, and the Mentalism, I think. So that probably will be this ability of Mentalisms, maybe like a secondary Finnblood thingy that is accessible to us from the start, or maybe not. Who knows? It's fun to theorize, but that's my guess. The movement is really cool also. Very responsive, has a feeling of, well, motion actually. You can feel like you're moving. Kidding? Yeah. How is Fire able to feed from an illusion? That's interesting. Maybe these are not illusions at all. Maybe they disappear and they are actually people. So to mess with their head more. And why are we feeding? Well, of course, takedown, and those also will be later explained that feeding during combat, and not only during combat, fills our discipline usage. So we need to build it up to use a certain power. More advanced power, feed on more people. That's fine with me, that's cool. Very Dishonored style. Okay, so we saw that in the Bruja review trailer. This punch, that's cool. Very bloody, very gory, I like that. Okay, so now we can see them lit up in red. That's celerity, most likely. The aura, as or muda. Well, Dia was a vampire, so as I like to call it. So that's cool. You slow down time and select a target to hit them a number of times. There will be also shown later that you can use this power to select few targets in your field of vision, and then like do. That's cool. That's how celerity works, actually, doing many things at once. So that's cool. And he's still alive. Alive, it's an illusion. So. Okay, so feedings will also be a finisher. Oh, that's cool. Okay, as we can. What? show him some thin-blooded justice. So they are thin-bloods, not ghouls? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. And we could see that the attacks here... Let's go here. Yeah, that's the Muda. And the Bruja passive is filling up. Okay. Yeah, as you could see, a power, the dash, I think it is, filled because we fed on this guy. And now we're using the passive. It lights up the icon, and now boom! Few extremely powerful punches, and it went down, and we need to fill it up again. That's cool. Alright. You're ghouls, not thin-bloods. Or maybe you are thin-bloods, but your name says ghouls. So yeah, ghoul. Yeah, again. Muda. Punch. And this one, yeah, it's Willem. And again, this mark on our hand glow purple. The music, and again, something happened.
How does he keep doing this?
At least we know he is here. Somewhere.
And the experience meter is filling also. Growing. This section is, well, hunting. Yeah, hunting. It really reminds me the bedroom from the first Bloodlines, in the Grout's mansion, where the mannequins were following and staring at you, but they weren't a real danger there. But yeah, it's creepy. It also reminds me a little bit about the level in Thief, the newer one. Okay, so and here we're punching a mannequin, an illusion of a mannequin. Yeah, they're also lit, but we don't see their hearts actually, as we will see in a minute, in a sec.
Fuck that.
Yeah, sure. We don't see their hearts, they're just lit because, well, they're there, so we like sense their movement, their presence there, but they don't have hearts, they don't have blood, because they're mannequins, illusions of mannequins. Like I said, the movement is really cool. Feels like you're actually doing a parkour here. With the potence and celerity also, as we will be able to see later. Dash. This is amazing. This is cool. I really like this ability. And again, we're gliding, a thin blood thing maybe. Again, telekinesis. Thin blood thing. That's fine with me. I have to take a sip of my blood bag. on, like here. We can select multiple targets for our Muda. And feeding, you can't fit on a mannequin, and that's Willem. Again. And this is trippy. This section is really trippy.
Hey, it's me. Got a situation. Yeah, the nomad of all licks. Yeah, she's not waking up. I made sure of that.
She, because, well, female model here, right? Chill.
Everything you asked for.
That's
Just
in
a
the book.
few more nights, right? Like you said.
A lot of cool effects here. Very trippy. And this reminds me a little bit about the Swan Song level when M was trapped by a glorious Tremere. So yeah, we can see Willem's memories, probably. A little bit about his character, little character building.
Yeah, I still think it was best. Both of them. But she's all alone.
It's still an illusion though, so...
I wish I could.
We can't just stay here, right? How do we get out?
Hush.
There
I
she
cannot hear myself think.
Gosh. I love the dynamic. I'm really interested how it will progress.
He is using everything he has to hold on.
Yeah. I guess if fire would be at her full power, this wouldn't really be an issue for her. Alright. Boom.
distracted.
Like I said, it's creepy and trippy.
Junior. With the war he's
Yeah, you couldn't do that in first Bloodlines, huh? Couldn't do parkour like that. Or like that. Jumping, gliding.
I'm sorry, it's
cool
gonna be
stuff.
another late one.
So they're using the aspects to look for the even more illusionary, like
Yes,
illusion.
I'd hear
Oh,
from you. Word is Campbell's out.
Campbell. Did you hear that? Campbell is a character in the Seattle by Night Season 2 official Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle run by Jason Carl. So yeah, it's connected. It's all connected. I believe he's also said that in an interview or on TikTok in a short or in some other video that those who know where to look will see many like connections between the Chronicle and the game. So that's cool. I really recommend watching both seasons. Both seasons are amazing. I love the cast, especially second season. Now that it's finished, I think, or like one episode left. I'm not sure right now. So yeah, so before you reach for the game, I would recommend to watch the Chronicle. Then you would be able to see some really cool Easter eggs and connections, and like, oh well, like this DiCaprio meme. Oh, this, yeah. Campbell. He was a ghoul, I think. Like they were looking for him in this season too. I think that was his name. Alright. Looking for an illusionary gramophones in the illusionary world. So that's that.
No use putting it off.
And that's it. Purple
I
light.
gotta do this. It's the last dance floor of my love. Time to say goodbye.
And here he is. Like you can see, he's not an illusion, like we will be able to see in a second, but he doesn't have a heart. We don't see his pulse, because he's a vampire. He's technically dead. So that's cool. Speed. So, one thing. She bit him. I don't know if it's a generational thing or something, but shouldn't she be like at the beginning of a blood bond? Maybe it has some flaw or something else. Maybe the mark helps her
But
with
how I
that.
had you under,
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
Oh, poor
Talk
woman.
him down, Fire. Fast.
Disarm this bomb. As your elder, I command it.
I can't. You gotta understand.
Unless you would rather I ripped it from your skeleton and your flesh with it.
Please, please, it's not up to me. They said I could see my family again.
The memories.
They said if I cut off the cord, if I took away their little black book, all their secrets, it would cause the chaos he needed to strike and I'd be free.
Who is this he?
The Malkavian. The gardener.
The gardener.
But now you got the truth. You know what that means, right?
Bahari, maybe.
Fire. You're losing him.
Listen to me, you useless, spineless, molten tumor. This gardener sold you a lie. Your family will not want to see you. If they even still live.
Jeez, Fire.
Bruja.
You are not the man they knew. To them, you are a monster. Find some other dream to cling to. But do not destroy yourself for another's game.
You don't understand. They're listening.
He was on the call the whole time.
Willem,
I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do. Oh no.
Boom!
Thank you.
That's that, no problem. So the Willem is most likely dead. Of course, an explosion is not enough to get rid of an elder, even if in their weakened state. So yeah. The gameplay, I think I talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. Now we move to the Q&A, which is another 15 minutes of the video. But there's a lot of interesting stuff that I already mentioned in the gameplay part. So let's listen to Josh.
Thank you for watching. We're back, and I'm sure you have a lot of questions, so I'm going to do a Q&A with Alex to talk about what you just saw. So could you explain the gameplay that we just saw?
I mean, it's early enough in the game that there isn't too many spoilers in it, which was definitely good. But it also showed a good variety of the different gameplay. We started with some exploration, which allows everyone to sort of soak in.
I believe if we would want to explore the warehouse further, there would be more things to see, to hear maybe, to find. Some Easter eggs, some collectibles, some other things.
The atmosphere. Then we have some stalking in there.
Yeah, so not only pure action, also a slow, steady. I think it will be possible to take down all these ghouls, illusions stealthily, especially for Banu Hakim. So
which moved to brawling, as it will with the Bruja. Maybe if we'd been Banu
Yeah.
Hakim, we would have taken that whole warehouse
yeah,
out
like that.
using stealth. And then moving, as you say, it starts to get a bit trippier. There are visions, there's influence of a Malkavian vampire in there, working through Willem.
So yeah, the Malkavian, the mysterious gardener, gifted his powers, maybe chemistry, maybe some sort of juiced up dementation power to Willem. Maybe they fed him their blood.
So we move more to what we call our vampire detective gameplay. So non-combat gameplay, very exploration, about you having to look for clues to solve ultimately the puzzle and escape Willem's trap.
So zooming out, can you tell us about where our story in Seattle starts?
Yeah, it starts with you wake up in a derelict apartment building covered in blood, having been essentially in vampire hibernation for 100 years. So you wake up with questions. And soon as you move through that warehouse, it becomes apparent you're not alone. Fire has a voice in her head, Fabian. Fabian is another vampire. At this stage, I can't explain why their voice is in Fire's head, but it's very much to do with the markings that are all over her body. When she went into hibernation, she was in the Middle East.
So yeah, she was the Fire, not only female, male also. You can choose. I remind you, they were in the Middle East and they were transported in Cairo, I think.
And she's woken up 100 years later in America.
In Seattle, yeah.
Clearly someone's been messing with her while she's asleep. So she's got...
Don't mess with a vampire when they are asleep. Don't.
questions, and she's quite annoyed. That sort of is our initial drive, is trying to figure out what happened to her and how to undo it and how to get this voice out of my head, because Fire enjoys her solitary time. She doesn't...
Yeah, cyberpunk inspiration. It's not bad. I like the idea. Here, maybe if Fabian will be more tied to actually mechanics, like humanity and dialogue options, more than Johnny was in the cyberpunk.
Does not want to share a head with another vampire.
We've had to translate a tabletop pen.
And also the abilities, the Finland abilities, like the gliding, the telekinesis, also.
Paper game into
Fabian
action, and a big part of what a vampire is a bloodsucker. So we really wanted to focus on feeding. Could you tell us about how feeding works in combat specifically?
Sure. I mean, there's two kinds of feeding across the game in general. There's combat feeding and social feeding. I think we'll talk about social feeding on a later video. But yes, combat feeding you're using within a combat encounter like this for two reasons. One, it's the main way to get health. So if you're getting beaten up, too many...
So we can heal up during combat.
Strikes against you, then you probably need to retreat and go and feed on someone weaker in the encounter. But also to power your abilities.
Like I said.
Feeding is essentially a reward for stalking or brawling successfully. You get an enemy to low health, there's a window where you can feed on them.
Like in Doom. Like in Doom. Good inspiration done right is great. And I can see here in this gameplay that they really did it well, really well. I'm happy with how it looks. So yeah, it's in the flow.
So try not to hit them.
Not like in the first Bloodlines where, well, you just beat someone and everything goes black and you can be hit again. Here you have a takedown, the execution, and you replenish power and health. So it's more smooth. It doesn't break the flow of combat. And like they said, there also will be social feeding, so in an alley, slowly draining someone also will be there for those who liked feeding in the first Bloodlines. I liked it, but well, in combat it was really, well, like I said, it was breaking the flow.
Again, or they'll die. And if you can embrace that, you'll get one of the blood pips for each of your abilities. So these are little pips below each abilities. Will fill. If you can fill all of the pips for an ability, then you can use it. And
yeah, like I said.
rinse, repeat, because that will then allow you
That's
to
good.
do more feeds.
So no blood meter. You can feel the blood to the full. So you can spam disciplines like Cauldron of Blood, and that's actually a good thing for me. I liked how the first Bloodlines worked, but here it's really, it adds to the gameplay, to the combat again. So I like this concept.
Which allow you to charge them again. And if played really well, the abilities synergize together and allow you to do chains. And the Brewheart is designed around that sort of staying in the fight, chaining fight to fight to fight, and keeping combat in flow.
And the brawling as well is something that we wanted to feel very visceral, very fast-paced. How have we achieved that?
Yeah, well, and a key word is immersive. So the control scheme is quite intuitive. Really love that pulling the triggers is feed, because that's like two fangs, sinking them in. But yeah, the basic sort of actions that Fire has, she can punch, she can do a heavy strike, which allows her to knock people back, which is very useful for the Brewheart. They can use it to sort of juggle enemies if they're overwhelmed.
I wonder if they will do weapons, like melee weapons, firearms and stuff like that, or if it will be just your fists and your disciplines. I would like to go with a gas pipe and beat people up with it in the game. In the game, all right, in the game. So yeah, I wonder if they will add using weapons.
They can go back and get enemies away from them. The defensive move she has is dashing, which you'll have seen there's one point in the gameplay where if you dash towards an enemy as they strike and you time it right, it counters it.
So
But then Fire also has telekinesis, which isn't usual for a vampire to have, but there's a story behind that.
So yeah, you can. I didn't pick it up back then, but you can distract your opponents, your enemies, and yeah.
Specifically why Fire as an elder has it. But yes,
Thin blood stuff, maybe.
when stalking, use telekinesis to pick up a bottle, distract an enemy, but you can use it to literally pull the enemies towards you. So you can use heavy strikes to push away and telekinesis to pull towards you, giving you a lot of control over the enemies and how you're encountering them. So that Bruges very much wants to control the sort of dance of combat.
So the mannequins work a little differently from the other enemies that we saw. Could you tell us about those illusions?
Sure, I mean, everything that we saw really is an illusion from when Willem first screamed at the player. But the initial enemies do fight more like typical enemies. The only thing that's different about them is the fact that they shatter to sort of glass when they're killed. But as we get deeper into Willem's sort of maze, essentially, his powers are getting weaker, he's getting more desperate. So in the first phase, he's able to create believable, they're ghouls and vampires that we're fighting there. So the ones with a beating heart, they're ghouls, and the ones that are just black silhouettes, they are
so
vampires.
there were some thin bloods actually there.
Whereas when we move to the mannequins, he isn't able to create illusions of such quality, and he's also getting desperate. And what better to fight a vampire with than an enemy that has no blood? So the mannequins are made of solid wood. So you notice in the playthrough there, we're being very tactical about our abilities because we have no way to recharge them. We can't get the blood back. So yeah, there's a really cool moment where kites a load of them up onto the gangway up above and then charges through and gets maximum effect.
Boom.
And this was to create a sort of peak combat challenge for that mission, because while what we've shown there, that sort of 15 minutes, that's the end of the mission. The player's actually been across Seattle, going other places. So we wanted to give a peek.
So yeah, there will be a sort of hub area, the open world area that you can travel between other locations. So yeah, that's...
The actual Willem encounter itself, which is after, is more cerebral. So we wanted to peak the combat so then you could shift to this more cerebral, sort of puzzle boss encounter with Willem,
The
trying
variety
to
of gameplay, that's cool.
defeat his illusions. So yeah, they're a very unique enemy in the game. They only occur there in the game, and they have that unique mechanic of they cannot be fed on, which makes, really changes up the pace of how you play.
You
So
can
the
heal, you can stack.
3 abilities that we saw include the kind of active ones and then the rewards for the feeding. How do they all play into each other and the combat, and how do you use them?
Yeah, so for that video we've equipped 2 of the Bruja abilities. There are more abilities,
More abilities, so more powers. Cool.
but we just wanted to show off those 2. And then we have the passive, which you get when you select the clan. So each clan has their own feed passive. So every single time they feed, they get some benefit that reflects their clan's playstyle. So the Bruja, we call it sort of a berserk mode. They get flushed with sort of aggression. Their arms literally glow. Their strikes do more damage and more knockback and things like that. So you'll notice points where, even though we feed on people, maybe you'll see the feed flash up on another person, but we've already committed to the strike, and we're doing more damage, so we kill them. So feeding actually is another sort of skillful reward. It's another.
So yes, feeding won't be so simple. You need to maneuver between hitting, dodging, and feeding in combat. Even more depth.
Part of the dance that's very important.
A dance. That's a good metaphor.
As a
for this.
Bruja, I suppose there's a role-playing element there, right? Because they are passionate, maybe have a bit of a temper, and that's why we picked the intimidating options here. So I was wondering what kind of role-play opportunities that gives us in the dialogues.
Yeah, so picking intimidating options, the result very much depends on who you're talking to. I mean, there are certain characters, say like Lou, who will, meet fire with fire. Right? They will equally become as angry.
Clever.
That can be a good way to find out what they're hiding, right? Provoke them and get them.
So yeah, there also will be depth to the role-playing aspect. I saw many people in the live chat, so does just fighting simulator, fighting and walking. They didn't listen, actually, I believe, to this interview, this Q&A. So yeah, role-playing is also a very important thing in this game. And like Mr. Alex here said, it will have depth to it. You can be nice or you can be a-hole to someone, and both have their perks and flaws. Both approaches, or maybe there will be a third approach, like flirting or something, I don't know. Where's Elif? I wanna flirt with Elif.
To talk. There are others who could clam up. Tolly would probably laugh at you and dismiss it and sort of see through the bravado. But ultimately, it will affect
Met
your
him
relationships with them over the long term. They'll get a feel for you. And also the relationship with Fabian. So Fabian is a vampire who is in our head for mysterious reasons. They're with us for the whole ride. And they are meeting, judging you and fire based on what you're choosing. So if you're very aggressive all of the time, that's who you are to them.
So yeah, Fabian will be most likely tied to the humanity mechanic. Because, well, fire is an elder. Elders are really distant from the humanity, really cold, really logical. They are vampires, like Count Dracula. And fire is, well, a young Finnblood, more humane. He has more humanity, so it will be like balancing. You can be either a monster, or Fabian will be like a humanity thing. I don't know how to put that in words. We will see how it will turn out. But that's my guess, that Fabian will be tied to the humanity mechanic.
That's the nearest thing we have in the game to like a true, single judgment of who you were as a player is Fabian. Whereas other characters, you might behave differently to each other, put on different masks, because it is the masquerade.
So yeah, we still can play fire differently. We can customize them, pick a clan, a lot of powers, outfits, and we can choose how we play them. So yeah, it is character set only in background and a name. The rest is you. The rest is you. I like fire, alright.
Different masks of how you talk and interact
Yeah,
with each of them.
I'm not wrong here.
Vampires rarely show their true selves, so it's
What?
totally viable for the
No.
player, if they wish,
I mean,
to
eventually.
hide their true selves as well.
The supernatural heightened senses give us clues to solve this puzzle that only a vampire can solve. What sort of puzzles can we expect?
You know, heightened senses is based on sort of auspex in the pen and paper. We like the idea that Fire, almost as an elder, can access it whenever she likes.
So yeah, I'm not sure if fire actually has auspex, or is it like just well, you know, vampires in general have a higher, more heightened senses, more powerful senses than a mortal. So maybe because fire is even older, more experienced hunter, or a vampire. You know what I mean, like a predator. Oh, that's the word. They can sharpen the senses without auspex, with blood. I think that's possible in the 5th edition. I like 5th edition. I like it.
So we can use heightened senses to
So yeah, maybe
show you
auspex,
things
like
that others
a
couldn't see.
secondary
almost,
thing, or
like sort of CSI, you know, blacklight or whatever, clues, to hear things, you know, in focus. In the mission, she could hear the music from greater distance when in heightened senses than she could otherwise. And in the maze at the end, it dulled out the fake noise, all of the Willems chattering to each other. They all got dulled out. And in the real noise, which was the music in the real world, she could hear. So it can help you, in a situation like that, actually see and hear reality.
so auspex.
But yes, in other sections of the game, it can help you to see what a human would miss, right? Follow someone's trail, get evidence of what's happened there.
So that's both sharpened sense, heightened senses, and sense the unseen in a way. That's cool. That's cool.
And there's quite a few interesting puzzles that we've done across the games using heightened senses.
Puzzles are
And I
good.
think this mission is a great example of a slightly more unusual version of our art direction in the lighting, the music, the style overall. There's books floating around. I think we punch one at one point. What kind of
I'll punch books.
feeling do we want to
Books
kind
are
of pump
good.
into that atmosphere?
Yeah, I mean, at this section of the game, we sort of call it the Monster of the Week section of the game. We want the missions to very much stand out before it becomes clear they're becoming part of a larger picture. But that you can't trust even your own senses, right? You know, up is down, red is blue. Just make it so the player is really on edge and not knowing what's going on. I hope when people come to play it, because obviously watching it, you're watching someone play through who still roughly knows what they're doing for the sake of the video. I'm hoping, you know, people are in there really sort of scratching their head, using their heightened senses, and then feeling clever when they figure out how to move forward, how to get out of there, how to get out of Willem's maze.
Good stuff.
And we spent a lot of time talking to and learning about Willem. Could you go into a little bit about his place in the court and the masquerade?
Yeah, so Willem is the secret keeper of the court, but at this point in the story he's gone AWOL along with the secrets. So the court is in complete control of Seattle, right? The mayor is probably one of the court's ghouls, you know, etc., etc. They've got dirt on all the people in the city, including other
Love this artwork.
vampires. And to stop all of that information getting in the wrong hands,
Great stuff.
there's this role, which is the sort of secret keeper. But they keep it all memorized. Willem has all of the information effectively memorized. So when he disappears, their sort of ability to keep control over the city gets massively weakened. So hence it's so important that he be found, but also some of the secrets he has are very relevant to Fire, so she wants to find him.
As part of the court, Fire has found a place and is doing missions for the Camarilla. Could you tell us about like her title and what capacity she's doing these things?
Yeah, so relatively early in the story, Fire has to get an inroads with the Camarilla, and she does a mission which ultimately results in her becoming the sheriff, which is an official role within the court, and it's pretty.
So we are a sheriff. Well, interesting. Some manipulation there. An elder waking up, doesn't know what's going on. Hey, we can help you, but work for us. We can help you come back to your full power. But you will be my sheriff.
Pretty cool. I don't think we've got to play that in other video games at least. And the sheriff ultimately upholds the masquerade and will do, you know, certain quite important, maybe dirty jobs, like finding the secret keeper who's run off. But it also gives Fire great privilege. As the sheriff, she can talk to anyone, and everyone kind of has to give her respect. Should sort of follow along with the letter of the law and obey her. Obviously, we have different factions in the city, some who respect the Camarilla, some who don't. So she will get some reacting in her favor because she's sheriff, and some actually where it's become more a hindrance. But yeah, so she's a very pivotal role in the Seattle court, and that's very much for her own means. Once it gets her the cover and support of the.
So she's a sheriff, but not really.
Camarilla, they're not going to be, you know, fighting and working against her, but it puts her in the perfect position to investigate the information she wants to know, which is how she ended up in Seattle and how she ended up with the Mark-on and her abilities taken away.
We had some dialogue options that kind of fed into Fire's legend. Could you tell us about what kind of control we have over her backstory?
Yes, so you're going to come across lots of different vampires and characters who haven't met Fire, but they've heard of Fire. She's very famous, effectively a legend.
The Nomad, right?
In the Nomad and other names. And then as a player, when someone tells you one of these legends they've heard about you, you could validate it and lean into it. Fire very much uses it there to intimidate Willem. You could correct them that it isn't true if you feel that doesn't either fit your character or because you maybe wish to manipulate your legend. Because Fire...
So yeah, you have a control over how Fire is firing. So
Fire's never saying what her backstory is. Everybody else's
good job to me.
Player can then choose the true canon of Fire by accepting what they're hearing.
Yeah, it's our character. We can shape their history. There are some points set, but we can manipulate how and when and where and why. So yeah, even more for you to control, to make Fire your own. Yeah.
Essentially. So we thought it was a cool way to have a more defined character, like you would say in a BioWare game, but not just I pick the backstory at the start and that's it. Have as you go, being able to pick and choose and shape your legend.
Awesome. And we will be sharing as much as we can about the new disciplines that you can see for each playable clan. If you want to see as much as possible about Bloodlines 2 and the stuff that we're sharing, you can find us at the Chinese Room on all of our social media. But until next time, thank you.
Thank you.
So that's that. I talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. We heard what those two amazing creators have to say, Mr. Alex and Mr. Josh. So yeah, we found out a lot. How the gameplay works, the flow of it, the depth of the role-playing aspect. Well, we can see the graphics, they're great, I love them. They look better, the animations are better than the previous iteration of Bloodlines 2, in my opinion at least. So yeah, we have more information about Fire, that it's still our character. Like, based on what they said, really only the name is set in stone. Only that. Besides that, you can shape the backstory, you can customize outfits, looks, clan. So that's that, yeah. A lot of cool information. Like I said, the link will be in the description. Let me know what you guys think about the reveal. I'm personally very hyped for this. The whole chantry is, to be honest. And yeah, I will be talking about other things that will come out, other news from the Chinese room. You can also follow my Twitter. I repost most of their content about Bloodlines 2. And they have some cool things there on Twitter. On X, yeah, that's Twitter, really, yeah. I won't stop calling it that. So yeah, link in the description. Let me know what you think. I'm hyped. If I missed something interesting, also let me know. And yeah, that would be it. So I see you guys in the next video about Bloodlines 2 or another lecture in the Chantry. So yeah, see ya.